Okay, everybody, welcome to tonight's Commissioners meeting, April 15th. Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up tonight, I was just going to ask for a motion to amend the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We have Roland with us tonight. Roland, if you want to go ahead and step up, we'll. I know you're here for some business, and we'll work with you and
Sure.
get
Okay.
this taken care of.
My name is Roland Lemus. I'm the Transportation Director for Southern Indiana Transit and Blue River Services. And I'm here tonight for the 5311 contract for 2027. So you have a authorization certificate there that basically states for every county that actually is in the system, NDOT requires us to have a certification note that basically states that you still want us in the county. So that's being done for every county, even Harrison County, Washington County, Crawford, and this county and Floyd County. So that's what basically that's for. It's for the grant for next year. So they're just planning so they can get the funding ready and do what we need to do. So what I did is I put a presentation together for you to give a couple of highlights of what's going on. I did a 3-year basically summary of what the services have been for Scott County, so you can see what's in there. And the bottom line is that, we did really well in 2024, 25, not so good. We were down on staffing. So met with Mr. Chris Wakeman, who's here right there. And also Mayor Amex, concerned that we need to do some more here, which we will. So we used to do transit routes here. We used to do all kinds of things, but due to staffing and due to actually lack of ridership, so there was a consideration of let's do door to door. So we changed the strategy so that we would get more folks. And so we transport at least 120 people out of Scott County, and we do regular routes every day. So there is a good majority of folks who transport with us on a regular basis, and they also go to services, go to work. But we could do more, and depending on what type of other services need us. So, one of the big caveats too is that we're not a charter. So we're not going to do charter services for a company and just do them. We have to NDOT put some really strict regulations on us that, we have to be able to be open to the public. So anything we do, like for a community event, let's say you had something going on as a fair for the fairgrounds or whatever, you can publicize that and put that on the paper. Like I did something with Chris and the Work One, and we went to a job fair, and we transported for that. But it was in the paper, so anybody could have met us there. So we can do things like that. We just have to work with the system to make sure we can get it publicized. So if you guys come up with any needs, or anybody who really needs stuff for public transportation, we can work towards getting that. So we've just hired about 4 drivers, and we're getting more staff. So we're going to look at the resources and see, where we can put them to help out every county that we serve. So it just depends on what's needed. We can't do subsidized children transportation. That's one thing that I hear a lot about. We're not children transportation, but we are. If you needed transportation, you want to go from point A to point B. And the thing is that we transport to every other county that we serve for the fare structure that we have, which is really cost effective. Uber's $60-$30. We're $8 if you wanted to go to Floyd County, and a lot of folks do come from here and they go to State Street to Floyd Baptist, all those doctor services. We do that. So it just depends on what you need. So, and that's what we're doing already.
Yeah.
But we can do more, and we're going to look at it and see if we can maybe put another transit route in here like we used to. We're just going to have to work with it and see what we can do.
Yeah. And I know, Chris, there's been a little bit go on and some talk about having our own internal type things. I think it's also good that we continue to bring awareness to the services that Roland provides as well, and work with these folks. And I know the resolution that you bring tonight, it's something that we've always done here in Scott County. Probably how many years now, Roland?
Oh, well, since I've been here, so that's 22 years.
Yeah.
You know, working with Mayor Graham and with Mayor Amick as well. I mean, but it kind of it changes, goes up and down. You know, we used to run a transit route here till 7:30 at night.
Wow.
Not one person rode it. And, you know, we promoted it, and we had all kinds of folks involved with it, the hospital, the sheriff's department, CASA, the YMCA. And, you know, you can't force people to ride something that they don't see a need, and you have to do it smart, and you have to put it out and market it. And today you really need to market and do surveys of what we've done in the past. And we're going into Clark County, and that's not a secret, but it's because we surveyed the heck out of the place, and we found out where is the need. So they want a specific area. We're not going to do the whole county. We're just going to do a very specified area. And we do that in Floyd County now too. So we take and it's working. People like door to door. They don't like walking a mile to a bus stop and then hope the bus gets there. They want to, you know, okay, we're ready to take you, and you go. So that's the successful part of it, but it is a process, and it is a communication process, and it's an ongoing marketing process. So we really need, you know, on my side, probably need some more marketing and probably need to do some more communication. And so we can work that out, and I'll work with Chris and Mayor Amick and see what we can do to find out where the areas are that they feel that there's a need, and we'll address it.
Yeah, well, I'll personally say I can vouch for Roland. I see him in a lot of different places, and you're a good advocate and for the program, and you guys do a great job. And
Thank you.
I appreciate the partnership with you here as well. So tonight, Roland has brought us a resolution to continue that partnership, and it is for the filing of the calendar year 2027 application for a grant under section 5311/5339 of the Federal Transit Act as amended. Does anybody have any questions on this?
No.
I'll
Appreciate you.
I'll let Alex just take a quick look at that real quick, just to make sure he doesn't have any concerns with that as well.
Did Mr. Wakeman send me anything you need for marketing? Rolling you to? And
Well, we've met once, but we're going to probably meet many more times, because we're going to do a transportation advisory committee meeting.
Okay.
And we'll invite the folks of the community to whoever has, you know, the needs, and communicate what we need and what they want, and what they envision of, you know, where public transportation can be used and utilized best. And that's it's just got to be an ongoing process. So we've always worked with the tourism center before Chris and everyone. So it's a model that does work. We just holding sometimes picnics too. Mayor Graham held a picnic, and we had the seniors, and we had a lot of seniors that used to ride our system, but they're not there anymore. So it ebbs and flows. It just depends on where their needs at. So.
You good with it? Any concerns?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to approve the resolution with Southern Indiana Transit System.
I'll second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and we'll sign this, and
Do you want to make a
Get you on your
copy
way.
of it
Let's see,
first?
do you care
Yeah,
if we scan that in?
sure,
and then
absolutely.
We can give you back the original.
Yes, or it doesn't matter. I can take the copy. It doesn't matter. They're going to upload it anyway for the grant.
I was gonna say, I don't
are you
have a
good with
copy.
this? Go ahead, sign it.
Yeah, you guys go ahead and sign it, and I'll scan it, and then we can give that to him.
Okay.
And I should have a set. If not, I think I have your email. I'll call him.
Yeah, you do.
Send it back.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Roland.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, it doesn't scan? You want to do that? If you don't care, just email it to me tomorrow. That'd be wonderful. Okay. If not, I'll come after. Thank you.
Next on the agenda tonight is our guest of honor. This is part of our student recognition. And tonight we have Destiny Campbell. Destiny is the daughter of Bobby and Trina Campbell. And Destiny, we're very proud of your accomplishments for this year. And I just have a little bio I want to read real quick, somewhat here of her accomplishment. Destiny Campbell, junior at Scottsburg High School. She won first place in overall state championship in the female division in 3D archery for the Indiana NASP program. Destiny is an outstanding archer who was also third place in 3D contest last season as a sophomore. So good job. Archery is not tiered like the other sports and activities. Destiny is actually the highest scoring 3D archer in the state of Indiana. And that's something. Real quick, just to note some of your teammates' other accomplishments at Scottsburg High School archery team includes Luke Bloodsoul, second place finish for the males at Scottsburg High Schools. Luke is a senior this year on the archery team. Christian Vaughn, middle school, second place finish. Christian's currently in the 8th grade at Scottsburg Middle School. The high school team overall ended up third place, being bronze medalist in the 2026 3D Challenge for the Indiana NASP archery program. So great job to you and your teammates. We're proud of you. And we know Dustin McIntosh is your coach, and Dustin couldn't be here tonight. And we ran into Dustin the other day, and I know he's very proud of you all as well. So thank you so much. And thank you. And good luck. Continue success. Right.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Keep working hard. Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be wanting to take you out. You're almost like a golf partner in a way. People are going to want to take you out to get the deer and such. So.
And if you mix the golf and the archery together, I want a front row seat to see that. Okay.
So congratulations. Thank you for coming. Good luck next year as well. Yeah, I know your mom and dad's very proud of you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next tonight, we have the ABC Land LLC rezoning request.
Afternoon, folks. Austin Dawkins representing ABC Land.
I'm sorry, your name's Austin?
Austin Dawkins, yes, sir.
Is the speaker working well? Maybe it's just me tonight.
I can lean over closer.
There you go. It's a little better.
Okay. The project we have for you guys is we have some property inside the town of Lexington. So it's part of the original platted town of Lexington. And the parcel we own is a total of 14 lots in that original town. I think that town was platted late 1800s, early 1900s, and it was 14 lots at that time. And since then, as far as I know, there's been no construction on it. I think the folks that have owned it have used it for agriculture, and it's been zoned as agriculture. And what we've requested is that you guys consider rezoning that from agricultural to R1. To meet the original expectation of that property. You can tell by the layout with the streets and the sizes and the surrounding areas that they intended for that to be residential, and we'd like to do that. We'd like to build some new homes on it, and develop that area and make some new builds in that part of Scott County. We do most of our work in Clark. This is new for us to be in Scott, but we'd like to do some work up here. Feel like it'd be a benefit to that town and to the county. As far as the area, we've done some research on the services that are available and the capacities. We found that it's not in a flood zone, not anywhere close to a flood zone. The water company says they have capacity to support the project. The sewer company says they have capacity to support the project. at the roads there's roads that come up to the area. There's original streets that were never built that service the lots. So we anticipate there would be some improvements needed to service our lots that we would be needing to take on. But we feel like that's something that's well within the scope of what's there and the right of ways and stunts that are available.
Do you have any imagery or overlay of what you got or what you're going to build so far?
I don't have anything with me today. We did submit as part of the submission. I believe we submitted the original plat, which shows the sizing of the lots and that sort of thing. But the type of home that we build is between 2 and 4 bedrooms. We have mostly 3-bedroom models, but we do some 2s and some 4s just for mixing it up and give different options for folks. A lot of them would be single story, maybe a few 2 stories, between 11 and 1,400 square feet, 2 to 3 baths, depending on which footprint. We'd anticipate the pricing of those to be somewhere in the $200,000 to $220,000 range, depending on costs and market, depending on when we actually get these built and in. But that's the overall project that we want to do.
So you will be building all the infrastructure with the roads, right? That's back there. Will there be new roads being built for this?
Well, there's to access it, there's just dirt for the moment. So we anticipate that we'll be needing to provide some infrastructure to get back to those lots. And I'm not sure what your standards are and what we would need to meet for the type of project, but we anticipate we would need to construct that.
I guess since we're on that, Kevin, do you have any insight there?
Yeah, so that's something we need to check into. We have a housing addition policy as far as the road construction for that. I don't know if what they're doing necessarily falls under that because it's kind of really extending off to the township. Those roads, when I say this morning, I looked at Walnut Street, and they run straight on back there to the house. And then Alexander Street, that runs back to the dead end. I don't know this, I just seen it this morning, I looked at it myself. And definitely, I think it was probably originally, like you said, plotted off at some point for that kind of work. We definitely need to get a scope of work for what kind of road construction we need in there. If you remember, probably in the early 2000s, late 90s, we had a company called Indiana Land came in, made a mess of county that we still suffer with bad roads.
Talked to him the other day. Yeah.
We gotta make sure we don't do that again. But like I said, I know there's some ordinances that was set. I'm not 100% familiar with them. So we definitely need to look at them. The standardization isn't going to be sidewalks, it's going to be curb together type stuff. That's where we want to figure out. Right now, the sidewalks stop at Alexander Street. One turns it Alexander Street, and the sidewalk stops. So if you guys want to require sidewalks to be put on through the township to the extended town, I would, but that's something to figure out.
Yeah, and maybe that's something we continue to talk about as you.
Sure,
There's more
as your
information,
standards
Kevin.
are, we understand.
We would probably need to see plans of the road construction and infrastructure that's going to go in. And I assume it's going on regional sewer board.
Probably, right? I think
That's what I understand.
I mean, we'll have to look at the responsibility, but the roads will get tore up, they cut it, the lines in, sidewalks will be put down, who's paying for that? Those are my questions.
Yeah. So during that process, it's very important that you coordinate with Kevin through.
Of course.
Right?
And sorry, today was the first day I heard about it, and then I didn't have anyone reach out to me, so I don't think there was too much opposition at the area plan meeting against y'all. Was there?
Well, obviously I'm biased. There was a couple folks that came and spoke, the next door neighbors. Nobody ever wants to see pasture turn into homes, but I feel like that the project is a good project that doesn't have a whole lot of downsides to it, as long as it's managed properly and we meet your standards.
Okay.
Well, I know Randy serves on that board, so but I was actually watching that meeting that night, and And there was some folks that was in opposition. But I know a couple people that was in favor of the project, and they did a good job probably laying out some of the concerns that was brought up. And one of them was Joe Gibson that was in favor of the project. These are lifelong Lexington people. So
Yes, sir.
And Matt Overlease, which sat on the board as well. So I know those guys were in favor of the project. I think from my standpoint, from what I can remember watching the meeting, the project is fantastic what it could be for Lexington. So I just wanted you to know that we're counting on something very, very special out there, because this could give a real shot in the arm for that area out there. And so we appreciate you looking at it, investing in it, and considering it. So,
And sorry.
go ahead.
I would have to say I'd back you up on that, since I haven't had anyone reach out to me or raise any kind of fuss, and it possibly boosting Lexington and what you do. I would like to stay in contact with you, see what you got, what your plans are, and whatnot.
Of course.
But I think it could be good.
I was actually absent, I believe, the night you brought this in front of the zoning board. I had to go to Florida. And I know Kevin just addressed this or whatever, but I'm having trouble here tonight. So what are you doing for the driveways? For the drive into the,
For the driveways, we haven't been made clear yet what your standards are. We expect to meet those standards. We don't know what you want, how much improvement needs to be made. Obviously, we're at a starter home price. We would love to keep our costs as low as possible, but we want to meet your standards. We're not looking to put in something that's subpar, something that doesn't meet, what we envision for the community. And so most of the subdivisions that we've done, have asphalt streets. Some of them have sidewalks and some do not, depending on the areas. But those things are available.
so you're planning on asphalt though?
I think we can.
Okay.
Being in the country, we have put gravel drives in the country before, and we would explore that with you guys. But if that's not part of your standards, then we understand, and that's not a sticky point for us.
I wouldn't want to see that.
So who would own the driveway?
The driveway, we would be, any construction that occurred would be in the existing street right-of-ways. There are street right-of-ways that are already existing there. We would certainly not leave them. We wouldn't be creating any new easements. So we would expect to construct them, but we would turn them over to whatever, agency that does that in this jurisdiction.
So you would be wanting to add it to the county? I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you.
No, that's fine. I assume that would be the case. Now, we could, if you desired it to, we could have that turned over to the HOA of the area.
Yeah.
Not my favorite thing to do, but we're very open on that. The only thing we want to do is we don't want to be the ones that own them after we're gone.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking him to coordinate closely with Kevin, because we want them to build those roads in a way that meet our specs when we do include them in our county inventory at some point. So,
Yeah, because in the past, a lot of places have come in, then they turn the road over to the individuals around it. And after a short period of time, they realize that, nobody wants to keep up with the road, and it becomes
Yes.
an argument. And then they want the county to take it over.
right.
For me, I think I'd like to have something in writing stating how that road's going to be put in and how it's going to be taken care of in the future before I vote on this tonight myself.
I understand.
Other than that, I have no problem with it, but that is something I would like to see in writing, just to protect the future people who lives out there. And I'm sorry, it's just not trying to say, you know, you're a bad guy, or your company's a bad guy, or they're not planning on doing something that they say they're going to. It's just in the past, we've had some situations like this before.
I've heard the stories.
Yeah.
I wasn't around for it, but I've heard them.
So for me, that's, I think, is where I stand tonight.
Do we have anything, did Stacy send us anything
The
from the
only
board?
thing, it was just a paper copy that was handed to us. It really does not have any of those plans or anything. The
Yeah, I
very
see
back
the-
shows the,
Commissioners, I don't know if you want to, but if you pull up Land Street on Lexington, you can see, you'll see where the houses are, and you can see all the lots behind it. And if you get it, you can actually see the company that owns it. But it's kind of really clear on how it's laid out at some point. Probably with the original down to the left side. But you can kind of see where Walnut Street stops, like at the end. And you can see where Alexander Street stops and those lots start there. So, I mean, not that it looks like it could be three town blocks, city blocks, whatever you would call them. I mean, just, I'm saying that's what it's going to be, just by me looking on a short time, I thought this morning. How big are the lots at?
Those lots were laid out at 90 feet wide and 115 feet deep originally, and we don't intend to change them.
Does it require a variance?
For agriculture, they would. I don't believe they do for R1.
Make sure I'm not misunderstanding anything. The houses, there's gonna be houses in behind these, right? So there's gonna be a drive or a road going back to some of these houses? Or is this all from the main road?
So we think that there's original streets that were never built. We anticipate that we would need to extend that infrastructure out a little bit. I don't have it in front of me, so it's a little hard. I talk with my hands, but we anticipate that we would be extending street and then having driveways come off of that extension to serve the individual homes.
So you don't have one street, you don't have driveways going through that street, basically.
I believe that it's more of a T where it comes up and it spreads out and then driveways would come off of that.
I'm just curious also, was any of that stuff discussed in your meeting with area plan?
Been a month, but what I recall is they discussed, did we plan to improve roads? And we said yes. Our experience is in Clark, and in Clark they have standards that say if you're going to turn a road over to the county, this is how it has to be, and we follow those standards.
Sure, yeah, and Kevin will have the same thing.
And if you guys have those standards, we're following those standards.
And I will say, I just did a little deep dive on KGF, and y'all have outstanding reviews and nothing negative that I saw initially. So working with municipalities and whatnot, unless you got something hidden back there I can't see. But,
We appreciate the municipalities and the customers that we've worked with, and we like to think that we've done a decent job of fulfilling expectations.
if Mr. Julian's wanting to hold off, I'd be willing to do so. That way I can get more feedback from the community and what they would like to see with roads, infrastructure, and whatnot. And if we get that in writing, if that's where we're at.
Are you up against the extreme time period? If you go another 2 weeks, is it going to really put you behind here?
Just another trip up here. So we've We have not started anything because we've been in this boat before with different places that, you know, they have a process they need to work through. And we didn't put ourselves in a bind while we were waiting. So we'll do what you need to do.
Myself, I would like to see the driveway plans. If you wouldn't mind to get with Kevin, turn that into him and have Kevin sign off on it. And then Kevin can bring it to the next meeting and we can approve it if the rest of the board is
Okay.
Yeah.
Would-
right with that.
I'm going to say that's fine. I mean, again, just work with Kevin and make sure he's comfortable with what we're doing out there. Because at the end of the day, that's going to be in his inventory. So, but just to give you a heads up, I mean, it was voted 8-0 favorable recommendation from area plan. I can tell you, I'm not going to stand in the way of the recommendation of the members that we put on that board. So if you just kind of address a couple of things and with the drives and such and work with Kevin, we'll
We're certainly
take
happy
this
to
up
do
again
that.
when you come back and we'll get you on the next meeting.
That's perfectly fine. And
I'll
so
tell you,
if,
I really appreciate you wanting to build here in Scott County.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming down and doing this. I don't want to make you feel like,
we'll be happy to work through whatever you need to do so that we can do it the right way. And so that at the end of it, everybody's happy with what it looks like. Because we're in Charlestown. We don't plan to move. We plan to stay here. We plan to continue to work here. And so we want you guys to be comfortable with the work that we do, the way that we do business, so that we can do it for the next 30, 40, 50 years. So a couple of weeks isn't going to hurt us.
Yeah. Well, thanks for working with us also.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, motion to table ABC Land LLC rezoning request.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and we'll get him on the next agenda for the next meeting. Next, we got our highway department, Kevin, with their 5-year bridge plan,
And the whole crew right there.
CDL resolution.
So I'll touch on that there real quick. Because I just seen it this morning. That's pretty broad. I mean, that's a pretty broad area right there. I'll do some studying on it and work on it. And I think you probably want it to look like the rest of the town was originally done. So, we don't have any engineered drawings or anything like that at the county highway that says this is what we expect, because we haven't had an addition to a town probably since it was plotted in 18 whatever it was.
Marty actually does have something.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, I'll do my research and I'll do some study. I can tell you that every lot in that whole town was, because I've owned a few of them, was plotted agriculture, and most of them still are for whatever reason. My house, I don't even know if my house is R1 or not, but for whatever reason, originally plotted, that's what they was. Probably needs to be changed. That's what it was.
Well, and I know that area for you. You live in Lexington. You grew up in Lexington. That's your home. You
I
care
think
about
it's
what's going on.
I mean,
So
I think it's,
I certainly
of course,
appreciate you
once you
jumping in.
swallow, once you swallow what it is, I think it's good growth.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Anyway, I'll do some study and we'll try to get it right. I mean, in all reality, this is a little bit what we'll talk about tonight on funding and what we're looking at on this bridge plan and what we can use for in funding. Lexington's probably on a Pacer scale, probably a 2. The roads are rough. We get by with it because it's 10, 15, 20 mile an hour roads. So bumps don't hurt as bad. So, that's another thing that we're adding roads to it. But hopefully with a little bit of plan, we can get to those roads and in-house or CCMG or however it rolls down. I'll kind of go over what we got tonight.
Thanks, sir.
So, we've been pretty aggressive with small structures and bridges really over the last 5 years, but there's just a little bit of a plan on our funding's changing a little bit, what we're looking at. We still don't know exactly what we're looking at. The meeting I was at last week, it's looking like NDOT said CCMG right now could possibly be July, or could possibly be September, or we could possibly apply in July but not get funded to September. So it's still a little bit up in the air exactly how it's all going to roll down. Obviously, the county, Scott County, depends a lot of their projects. To do a lot of projects, we depend on being successful in that. From what I'm hearing, I think 62 counties have a will tax, but if you have that, you may possibly, and this is not nothing wrote in stone, not be eligible for CCMG. You'll get direct distribution, but you won't be eligible for the CCMG. So that's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. Those are just things I'm looking at and trying to figure out. But obviously, we have a lot of bridge projects that we need to look at over the years. And I think CCMG could be a viable resource for us. But just real quick on Bridge 16, we did apply in 25. We got one project for the year. We didn't get Bridge 16, so we'll reapply. All the engineering's done on that. It's ready. It's shovel-ready project, so we'll just reapply. It won't be no big deal, whether that be in July or whether that be in September. I kind of laid out a little bit of what we're trying to migrate to on bridge maintenance, kind of what we're looking at. My maintenance numbers there are generic, just kind of going off the recommendations of what we got back in our bridge inspection book. I think really the biggest one right here to look at is Bridge 35. And if you look at the priority schedule, United's got Bridge 35 as getting, possibly getting replaced in 2031. So, that bridge was built in 1982. That's not a good life for a bridge at all. And I think a lot of that goes down to maintenance, at the end of the day. We did a lot of work to that bridge, but after they inspected it, we've added a wing wall. We've added a lot of riprap. We're going back down and do some more erosion control, some grout filling. I really want to get it re-inspected after we get that work done here this early spring, because it is leaching pretty bad. It's only a 42-year-old bridge. Maybe it's eligible to do an overlay, strip the asphalt, do the waterproofing overlay. I mean, I think it would be a big deal if we could push that bridge out 20 years. I think it's very doable.
Where's that at?
That's the first one on slab.
Okay.
The first bridge on slab. We did some work to it last fall.
Right.
Pulled off for the winter.
Yep.
Actually started back getting some plans, ordering a little bit of material this week, and plan on getting down there this week and finish up our. It's just a lot of erosion, but I think we control a lot of that. It didn't have a lot of structure problem, just some minor things that they had noted. It was more just it's not big enough for the channel. It's it's the hydraulic problem, but it always has been. So anyway, that's just what we're looking at to see if we can possibly do in-house work to push that down the road. If we can push that down the road, even if it's 15 years, that's pretty big for this county.
How long is that bridge, Kevin? Any idea?
If I just looked at this today,
50?
might be 60.
Yeah.
It probably needs to be 120. In federal aid, it probably will be. It'll be a much, much, much larger
And higher?
and higher. Yeah, it'll be a lot different looking bridge, I'm sure, because it doesn't really meet the exact needs. But 2027, we was looking at Bridge 56 possibly. These are pretty small structures, 24 foot maybe. 2028, Bridge 132, same deal, fairly small structure. Bridge 60, it's the one down here on Slate Cut in the bottom grounds right there. It's kind of a rough looking bridge, but The replacement ain't on it. They don't have the replacement till down the road a little bit, so we'll take advantage of that. That's one right there that was on the borderline on probably what way it can go. I was looking at CC and G. It's a very low traffic road. I don't know that we need, one that's a whole lot better per se. Maybe just new. And then of course, Bridge 28 is in process right now. They done the geo drilling out there last week. They went out, closed the road a little bit, done some drilling. We had a meeting out there, I think the week before. Utility companies come out. They're going to have to do some relocating on it, move some power lines, possibly some water lines. They're not sure on that yet, but sounds like they got that all lined up. It sounds like the consultant was environmentals, was everything that they're working on to keep on track. It sounds like that's across the board is the hard thing to get done right now is environmental. So not behind, but trying to get ahead of the game on the environmental part of it. So anyway, that project's moving along. And then really, I think the next federal aid project is Bridge 7, following the guidance of our inspection book. But, if you look at that, that's around $9 million worth of projects. If we use this plan or something near it, that's about $2.5 million county dollars going out. That would still give us about a 1.6 cash balance at the end of that. The only thing that might make that grow and do a little better is typically we've never took our match money for grants out of Cambridge since I've been here. I don't think for any time. I think we just utilize CCMG for paving most of the time. So I don't think it's ever been. So if we don't have to, if we can take it out of some different areas like we have in the highway budget, then that'll help. Obviously move forward. But we do have a bridge maintenance crew going now. We have a lot of bent up guardrails. We have a lot of washouts. We have a lot of stuff that we can prevent and push down the road to make these. And that's what we're going to work on. One thing I got wrote in here is we would like to look at an excavator. Right now we got 3 crews running. All the crews need the same equipment most of the time. Excavator is a big one, that we use. Just basic math coming down to it, I was like, the rental option. If he's going to say, okay, we're going to go after these projects, the in-house part that we're going to do with the maintenance and stuff, $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 a year. They're not cheap. If you purchase and pay it yearly, $30,000 a year, and you own the machine at the end of the 5 or 6 year term, whatever it may be. It's not anything I'm asking you to do tonight. We're going to get some demos to come down. We're going to finish Bridge 35, see if we can push it out and make it make sense like we're hoping. But those are just basically things to get thinking about what I'm looking at, just thought process on it.
So we don't have any real load rating issues right now on anything.
We do not. The biggest load rating issue, Bridge 132, and that is out on Concord Road in Lexington. I think it's rated for 7 ton. It's a pretty big bridge, and I would assume, off the top of my head, I think it's just a design problem from the day it was installed, which was, I don't know. I don't know when it got rated exactly, but it's rated for 7 ton. We worked on a small structure down there, and a concrete truck wouldn't go around it. Now, 100,000-pound grain trucks probably roll across it all the time. But, as far as being rated, it's rated. So it's one. But as far as condition goes,
Is this the one right off 356?
it would be the one off of, the closest would be off 62. Like if you went through 9,
Okay.
that'd be the closest. You can get there off 356, but the closest would be 62. So that's our only one that we really have a load issue on. But this is just kind of, not set in stone, just a thought process on it. with that being said, we used chip and seal through CCMG this year. This last year, I would suspect that everyone had the need to do that. So that'll free up money for hopefully projects like Lexington Streets, run CCMG through it, pay them. We have some housing additions that we're looking at some micro seal. It's a super thin layer, not like liquid road thin. There wasn't much on that, but about 3/8 thick surface that might make sense in some of our housing additions like Bob White, Hosey, those kind of places. Windy Shores. I had a company look at that last year. They said it was too far gone for micro, so they didn't suggest it. So it'd probably have to be one we probably just contract and pay because of the amount of driveways and stuff that's in it. So anyway, hopefully the funding that opens up an avenue that we get back to doing that stuff too, and utilize it to build some of the bridges. So
Well, it's a good option that we can talk about preservation for roads.
yeah,
Until we're talking about, well, we can't do any preservation. So
yeah, I think
we're in a good spot.
this makes after this year, this makes around 70 miles of chip seal. When I ran some roads last 2 nights ago, not Whitsett Road. Is it Whitsett Road. That chip seal looked really good out there. I mean, they preserved that road. I mean, that road was going to come apart. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. Lover's Lane was another one. I mean, that road was a stretch. I mean, took several guys to Pacer training the other day to kind of get us on the same board of what we're looking to do. And some of the roads that we're chipping are wouldn't necessarily be ideal. You'd want to chip them before they get to the point that they're getting to, but we got to get ahead of the curve. But we're making it there. But you can see Lover's Lane, you might as well call glued it back together the year before.
Yeah. And
then we came back and chipped it. I'm not telling you it's 65. It might be better than 65. I'm not telling you it's 31, but it's
close right now.
Yeah, it's holding, and it ought to do some good, and could possibly get another chip and stretch out. So anyway, I took enough time, but that's what we're looking at. So we'll keep going that direction.
Good plan.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do CDL resolution.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got that. During budget time, I did budget a stipend for my CDL trainer. He keeps us able to do it, keeps us current on all the rules and regulations, and trained several of our guys and bumped them up to A's. So I didn't want to do necessarily a raise on it because it is funded by money that is made. So I just asked the council to do a stipend. If it can't fund itself the next year, so be it. If you know what I mean. So it's a year-to-year basis.
How many guys do we have with an A out there now?
Everybody but 3. I think we got 3 guys that don't have them.
Pretty good.
So yeah, we're good on license, and that helps. I mean, that just makes everybody a little bit more versatile.
Johnny White didn't take the test for everyone.
No, we do. I don't think so. They probably know me by name down there by now, but no, we didn't.
That test ain't easy.
It ain't. They've made it a pain to get. Yeah, or at least in Indiana, right? Which is a good thing. I mean,
Sure.
They are rolling down the road with a 100,000-pound
It's a lethal weapon.
machine.
That's right.
But yeah, I forgot about that. We had a resolution for that.
Thank you.
And do we have to vote on the resolution or anything, or is it good to go?
You guys have a copy of it?
I don't.
Okay. So I'll hand this down, but there's a resolution that authorizes an annual stipend not to exceed $2,000 to the CDL trainer. And this is in addition to any amount paid to the employee per the salary ordinance. And it's payable contingent upon adequate funds being available in the training fund derived from CDL training conducted by the county. Ran it by a council's attorney. She thinks it's fine, so I'm okay with it.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to pass the resolution for CDL training.
I'll second that.
Make it unanimous.
Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 I got one more quick thing that you said that and I forgot. I told this guy I would bring it up tonight. So, and I sent it to all your phones while I was sitting back there. On 356, so you're almost at the end of the county line, there's a road called Hunter Road. It's a gravel road. It goes back to 2 houses that is father and son that own all the property back there. There's 2 front fields that belong to, I think Coombs's, I'm not sure the other side. He's requested that we relinquish that road back to the landowner. I told him I would bring it to the commissioners and get a discussion going, but be patient. That's not necessarily a quick process. I'll give you my thoughts on it.
Sure.
So, and if you look at the picture I sent you, basically there's 2 fields when you turn off 356. Those are owned by other landowners. And as soon as you get to the creek channel, he owns everything and all the roads. And he's had problems with guys going back there, drugs and stuff like that. I actually think he told me the sheriff's department and actually had to come and get somebody back there the other night, or other day. So anyway, he just wants to gate it off and take care of it himself. I told him I'd bring it to the table and see what steps. We've not done that since I've been here, or if you would even like to entertain it. I did tell him, that doesn't necessarily make your property worth more money, but he didn't seem like that was anything he was concerned about. But on the county highway standpoint, sounds great. It's a gravel road out in the middle of nowhere that we got to go to.
You say there's 2 houses back there?
There's 2 houses back there. The only thing that might make it more of a challenge is the 2 fields up front are owned by 2 different landowners, and the road goes right between them. So he really wants it to be relinquished from the highway back. I told him, I'm like, well, I would assume we would have to send public notice out, and then it might get into what those landowners wanted to do. I said, it might be easier for you to do it at your property back, would just be my thought process on it. And it don't have to be decided tonight. I told him, there won't be no short process, but I'll get the ball rolling and see if they'll entertain it.
So just to be clear, that whoever this is wanting to vacate the county road.
Yes, currently it's a gravel county road. He owns both sides of the road and the property all the way back. And
So that would take a petition to the commissioners in writing. They would need
Okay.
to start that. That's not something the commissioners would
okay,
voluntarily.
so he just needs the in writing, send board of commissioners.
Well, there's a legal process to file. I'd encourage whoever does to consult an attorney to do that.
Okay.
Just to make sure it's done properly.
Okay. Okay.
And then we're done on that topic.
Would that attorney advise them to get the people who live?
The
on
permit
side of
that is required for everyone to fill out for fiber optics or
Yes.
drilling or whatnot, is that a state form, a county form?
It's just a county made form. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Zimmerman,
Yes.
we've had an issue in the past couple of weeks where there's a company putting in fiber that went through someone's water main, and they offered to pay in writing everything, hotel stay, reimburse everything, and now they're failing to do so. Would that be something that we can include on the permit, that if they cause property damage or if they refuse to pay, to pull their permit?
That I don't know. Truthfully, it sounds like the landowner needs to take legal action
Yeah.
to enforce that. I don't know if that's grounds to necessarily revoke a permit.
Yeah. Well, if they're harming the citizens or not doing right by county and
Sure.
citizens, that's something that I have concern
Sure.
for people in my district and whatnot.
So you brought that up. Radio Tower Road, I think last week, it all runs together. I went out through there. They were all over road, no sign, just running them up. So I called, and it was Spectrum.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we'll be right down. We'll shut them down till they get their signs up. I don't know what they do. I don't know if Spectrum just gets the lowest bid that they can possibly find. But we had a round table with other superintendents, and that was discussed in there. They're at every county, and nobody's happy.
I went out to try to talk to a few people and
Not that that makes it any better, but they're running around on every county. I think my thoughts looking forward. is I did sit through a training portal thing the other day. We have iWorks that we do our work request in, and they also have a permit side of that. That would get us a little more professional.
Yeah.
Possibly, you know how we got the work request on
Yeah.
it could possibly add to that same company, and where they can pull their own permits through the county website. There's several counties like this. We're just not quite there. And, you know, my thought process, I think I brought to you guys before, was hopefully maybe we could, you know, add a permit investigator to somebody's job title at some point. And I think policing this, getting out, them knowing there's a county guy running around has a big merit compared to how we don't ever see those guys, you know?
Yeah.
I think that would help the situation out
Yeah.
sometimes. And, cause it's hard to, I made a point of going out and trying to find them, but you know, that all takes time.
Yeah.
And you don't know what day they're going to be there. Well, you have an idea, but you never know.
No.
And, so we'll work on those things.
Yeah, it was just a thought, you know, how could we better protect the citizens or,
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I
because
don't know
sometimes they
what-
don't even
what
know that they're there.
part we had to pull, what we don't, but that, you know, that company, Spectrum sub that might be the way to actually call Spectrum and say they're not,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've
fulfillment.
reached out to the guy.
because they was really aggravated about not having nothing. Because actually with their permit, they turned in traffic control paper off the MUTCD. And of course there wasn't none of it. And so, and I told them that. So they was kind of proactive on trying to regulate it. But yeah, I agree. I don't know. It's a good thing, I think, as far as when they get it done, but all in all, it's debatable.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Okay. Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Gooden.
Seabury.
Well, Jerry, you lost your audience.
Yeah, what,
It's gonna be a long night then. You see what I'm saying?
what'd you say to make them leave?
All righty, I got a couple things here, several things I actually need to talk about. So first one is that we got a contract that's due with the Mid-America Dental Office. They're the one, they come to the jail, work on our inmates' teeth. They come twice a year. It's the same rate that they had last year. It's $2,800 per visit. They come to, bring all their equipment, do everything they do right there. And each time they come, we just pay them $2,800. Last year, like I said, they came twice. It's just a continuation contract, basically is what it is. It's nothing new. So if you don't care, I will give this to it, and I need the president of the council to sign it. And then we'll move it on we'll send it up to Mid-America. Okay, let's make sure it's okay.
And the money's already been allocated and budgeted.
Yes, money has already been allocated in the budget to cover that cost.
I'll make a motion to approve the, after Alex checks it, but approve the contract.
I'll second.
You good? Okay. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
If you want to sign it tonight, you can. If not, just give it to Jennifer when we get done.
Motion allow me to sign that for Jerry.
You can authorize the sheriff to sign it. You
I don't
can-
need to do
No,
that.
you can vote to authorize the sheriff to sign it.
I'll make a
Motion
motion
to-
to allow Jerry to sign this contract.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Sheriff.
Next thing that I have is we have a body scanner inside the jail. Obviously, it scans people when they come in and get arrested. I don't know how much money it's probably saved the county. Probably time, lawsuits and everything, it's hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million. We have a yearly maintenance agreement we have with that company. Command Sourcing is one we bought that from. And our maintenance agreement is due. Yearly, it sounds pricey. It's 17,673.00. That's for maintenance. If anything goes wrong, they come in and fix it. That's labor. That's, everything that's just taken care of. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but that instrument cost us, I think it was around, just off the top of my head, in between $150,000 to $185,000. And I'm sure they're probably way over that now because we've had it for, 6 or 7 years. My suggestion is, of course, it belongs to you guys. My suggestion is let's get the maintenance agreement. I have the money in my jail maintenance line. Jen, do you know off the top of your head what that is? Don't have to look it up because I did before. But
I do not have that off the top of my
oh,
head.
it's like 90,000 or something like that we've got in there. So I've got the money to take care of it. You just tell me that you want me to do it, and we'll have it done.
I'm just curious here, what's one of those new costs?
I'd say that's why I was saying I don't know because we've not priced them lately, but I would think that it's probably over 200 by now, at least. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably for the basic model. That's probably where you stand with the wand and hold on from. You know how that goes.
Did you say this is a contract we always do?
It's a maintenance contract we've had, with Command Sourcing.
I'll make a motion to allow you to redo the contract.
We have a motion for maintenance with the body scanner. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And let me back up when Randy asked that. I don't know. This is not. It don't say how long we've had it. You know what I'm saying? What it says, it just says it's a quote for, this year.
Okay.
So I say, I'm sure we have. I don't know that we have. The first couple of years, maybe we just took a chance and said, hey, listen, it's brand new. It's still under manufacturer's warranty. So I don't know how long we've had it.
Well, I didn't remember us having a contract with them.
Mhm.
Not that it matters. It's something that needs to be done. I was just asking.
Yeah. And that's why I want to make sure I give you accurate information on it. So good question. So you tell me what you want me to do and we'll
No, I think.
Yeah, go
I
for
think-
it.
go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. We'll get her done. See here. Next thing we have. The Austin City Police Department has a bunch of equipment. I say a bunch of equipment. I've got it all listed here that they're wanting to give to us. It's police car equipment is what it is. It's radar house, light bar, light wing brackets, Phoenix fusion sticks, Phoenix Watt siren, quarter-inch lights. And I've got the serial numbers of all items that are serial numbered. And
So it's
Austin,
not stolen.
it's zero cost. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we ran the numbers first. So I told them they were just going to give it to us. And I said, nah. I said, we need to do a memo of understanding. That way we can document it. We know what it is. And that way without any issues.
I appreciate you doing that.
So that's what I'm bringing to you today. And like I said, there's an inventory list here. I've got on the back of it where you guys can sign it. That will accept it. And we'll go from there.
I'll make a motion to accept the generous offer from Scott or Austin.
Yeah, probably it costs us around $10,000 of equipment on that. But that's not obviously everything we put in on that. That's, pretty good chunk.
We've got a motion to accept the Austin Police Department equipment given to the Sheriff's Department. I have a second.
Second, but I wouldn't want to sign it because we're not validating the serial numbers. I would want Sheriff Gooden to sign it once validating all the serial numbers and everything, since I can't put eyes on it.
I don't have no problem signing.
Well, we're just agreeing right now that they could let us have the equipment.
Then
I mean,
Yeah,
he can.
if there's any discrepancies, follow up.
Yeah, if it's,
We
if
have a
it's
motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
It's okay. Alex, you know what I'm saying? He look at it. So.
Got anything else, Gary? You got anything else?
Yeah, a
Okay.
couple more things. I'll be quick. I'm sorry.
No,
You're
it's
all
fine.
right.
When you walked up, I thought you were done.
Yeah. All righty. And I'll get that to Austin, let them send it, and I'll get it sent back to Jennifer too, so she can have it for file after it's all signed by then.
Please tell them thank you for us.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about is this. You guys have already signed an agreement to buy 6 radios for Vienna Township.
Yeah.
It's already signed. It's already done. We're going to buy 5 of them off of the people too. The reserve fund is, it's going to come out of the reserve fund. So I've got that here. Basically what it is, it's from McCordsville. And they just want us to sign an agreement, just a memo of understanding that they're selling it to us. And the reason why they want us to do that is because when we buy those, they say they have to have it for liability, I guess, because they're saying they're selling it to a police department and emergency services company. You know, and I get that, you know, for any kind of liability. And plus it covers us too, that, you know, that's where we got them at if something happens. So in case we ran the numbers and they came back and stolen, like Randy said.
Yep.
But I've got that here. If you want to look at it, you can. It's got listed all the serial numbers of the radios. Now it's in two different sequences, because the first 6 obviously will go to Vienna. They're reimbursing us. And then the second 5 is separate that'd be on here. So I'll give you this. This is the, right here's the memo of understanding right there. Yeah. Here's the prior stuff if you need to see it.
Yeah, I think we had it in meeting 2 ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
we know about it.
Okay, good. Okay. So if Mr. Zimmerman thinks it's okay, we'll go ahead.
I think we had this at a meeting a while ago, and I was confused about McCordsville. So now it's making sense. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's been reviewed. It's good.
Yeah, we wasn't sure about the McCord. I think that's why we kind of tabled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the additional ones outside the fire department, yeah.
Motion to approve the radios.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Jen, you got to put your signature on that.
Sign that one too.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Excuse me. All right. We're coming down to the last thing I got here. This is going to be complex. This is going to be something that obviously, I mean, you guys decided, but probably something Mr. Zimmerman and Jennifer and we're all going to have to talk about. Okay. It is this. So we are considered essential personnel. The jail can't shut down. It has to stay open 24 hours, 7 days a week. So the county has a rule that says if you get 500 hours of comp time, or not comp time, PTO time, that if you don't use it, then they take it away from you. Well, the problem we have with that is we've got mandatory attendance policies in the jail. And right now it's only affecting one person because I think they fixed some of the other ones that was there. They fixed them. But they took, it was a Phil Emily. He had 600 and, let me see here, just so I can make sure it's exact. He had 620.975 paid time off hours. Okay. And then the next paycheck, they took and only put it at 501. So they took those hours away from him, which is really is not fair at all because he is mandated to work. It's not like he would be happy to take off. He could say, hey, I'll see you next year. He's got that many hours. Mm-hmm. But, you know, we can't allow it because we're a service and we were shorthanded in the jail. He was a supervisor, so he was working, you know, these hours he was working. And then it's not fair to him because he has to work that he's getting penalized for it. Now, the EMS, and this is why I didn't put together a proposal yet because I wanted to see what you guys thought if you want to look at it. EMS has already got a policy that was signed by you guys saying that they can pay their hours over with the parameters and the rules and all that. I'll give this, you've already got it, but if you want me to, I can give it to you and let Mr. Zimmerman, if he wants to look over it, if he can look over it and come up with something that maybe we could come up with. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It's just not fair to feed.
That's that Kelly thing, right? Yeah.
And that one there, it's got a special note on the bottom of it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's referring to there.
Now, between the mandatory show up, and then are you still short-staffed in the jail?
No, right now we're in good shape, and he has been taking time off.
Okay,
We made
all
him
right.
take
I
off.
just want to make sure
hours.
work-life balance, that they're able
Yeah.
to use time. and whatnot.
And that memo there will cover some of that concerns, like, hey, he's just not taking off because he's wanting to get paid or whatever it is. That memo addresses some of that. And that's the reason why I said, I looked at that memo that you guys passed for them, and I'm okay with it. If that's what you want to do, if you want to add some other stuff to it, that's fine too. But if we can just get an agreement that he's going to get his hours back.
Yeah, we need to be fair across the board.
Yes, we do. And we need to be fair to their employees too. I mean, so
I guess what I would recommend, just give us a minute to look at it.
Yeah.
And we'll,
What I can do is just take it if you want to. Let me give you the rest of this. Is it too. He actually wrote a memo with it, but it was no reason to give the memo, you know what I'm saying? Because I was told him I was going to take it up for him, you know what I'm saying? So he didn't need it. And that's his paychecks. You can see up here where he had it and they took it away, you know what I'm saying, to prove that he had it, basically is what it was. And then it tells all about it in there. So, and Jennifer, thank you, because Jennifer helped me on this, getting the information and stuff for me. So thanks a bunch on that.
That's no problem at all. But yeah, the EMS has got that. We can do maybe an amendment, but we've even talked a little bit. I mean, it's time for us to start looking at our.
You want to keep that for further reference or anything?
I don't need it.
Okay.
one other thing, just to bounce off you real quick. I know Amy reached out to me over kind of the courthouse closure policy stuff. I've called her a couple of times. I've missed her. I've left her a message. Just let her know. I'll continue to reach out to her to help clear that up. But when you do talk to her, let her know that I have worked with Jennifer, and we're working with Wagner Urban Shealy to try to clean that up. It's never really been good. And so now's an opportunity, since it's kind of been brought up to light, that we can revise that to make it better. I can tell you from my standpoint, I really don't like the fact that if something happens in the courthouse, then everybody should benefit from something that's happened at the courthouse. Just as so if something happens at the sheriff's department, then if somebody goes home, that everybody gets paid for going home. That's not really realistic, and it's not good business. And we need to do a better job of making that more clear. But I know Amy had some concerns with some things, and like I say, I've tried to touch base with her a couple of times. I'll continue to reach out to her and talk to her about that. But we're working with Lori Shealy now to try to clean that up and get that in the handbook. So so it's a lot cleaner.
Yeah,
Across
yeah.
the board. It's a little bit, and I'm going to say, even from the Board of Commissioners here, since I've come on, we've tried to figure out ways that, the highway department's working. How can we, take care of these people because they have to work? These are different jobs. They're different departments.
Yes.
There's different, you're talking about essential employment. Same thing, and especially when we have inclement weather, we rely on our highway department to be out there to keep, our roads clear and keep us safe as well. So, there's a lot of those things that kind of don't mesh really with everybody's job duties and responsibilities. So we're working now with our HR group to try to clean that up a little bit. So,
Yeah.
but I know she had some concerns with that, and I'll reach back out to her and touch base.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Can you
good.
come back to us on the 6th and we'll have this?
Yeah.
if we can
Yeah,
have this
absolutely.
resolved.
Yeah. If there's any questions, just holler at me. I'll be glad to answer them. If it works, what works for us. If you look at something that looks like it may not work for sheriff's office as it does for EMS, just let me know. So,
One other thing I want to tell you, thank you for you and your staff was out and had some prisoners at the health department. They've been out there, and I appreciate that, working with us and keep those properties cleaned up. And it's, it's a big help for us.
It is.
well, I'm here to work with you guys. Anything we can do to work together. I'd already had a conversation with Kevin Hall about maybe using our guys to maybe doing some cleaning up on the roads, because there's some roads that need cleaned, and of course, we were doing that when I first came in and had a little disagreement or whatever, which is, don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to work with you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever you need me to do, I'm gonna help you.
I
Okay.
appreciate it because
So-
when we look at it from a standpoint of just, kind of maintenance responsibilities, as you know, we have and, we have a lot of properties for one guy to have to try to keep
Yeah.
up with. And then a lot of times there's things going on at the courthouse where, I was just thinking about the other day, I know S&L came in, redone all the filters and such and replacing everything out. Well, Eric's kind of with them, making sure everything's getting done and
Yeah.
just working with those guys and answering questions. And so anytime another service comes in and he's working with that group, guess what? There's nothing else getting done for the, that we need. So I want you to know that I appreciate you guys tremendously for going out and trying to help us and keep things up. It's
Like I
big
said,
shot in the arm.
anytime you need something, you just need to let me know. Just get a hold of me because we're going to work it. It's all to benefit the citizens of this county. That's what we're doing it for. We have to work together to do it. And whatever we got to do, you see what I'm saying? We'll make it happen.
okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jerry, very much.
That's it. You guys got any questions for me?
I've got something I'd like to say if they would let me steal another time. I want to apologize because last night Amy was here and she was talking about bills not getting turned in and feeling like that we were blaming her for not doing her job. And I should have said it last night, but I was flustered and didn't think about it at the time. Amy's done an excellent job, even when she was doing paper. But I'm going to tell you, we were talking about it in our office today. Since we switched over to the invoice system in Lao, for as big as your department is, Amy's killing it. She is one of the best that is doing those invoices. I didn't say all that last night. I wasn't thinking about it. I had other things on my mind, but I do want her to know. I want it to be on a recorded that nobody in my office thinks she's not doing her job. And we see how well she has adapted to this invoice system with Lao. Made our lives much easier, and we appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I've always said this. I've always worked with Jennifer. We've never had a problem there. I've always worked with Jennifer hand in hand. She's always been as good as gold to me, and we've tried to reciprocate to that. So I appreciate it. I'm gonna tell her that, and that'll.
And I'll call her tomorrow, but I thought about it today after we got talking about it. I thought I should have said that meeting last night, but it just wasn't there. I'm sorry. It was not in my mind.
No, I get it. Because, the sad thing about it is, and I'm not going to revert, and I'm going to be done here. The sad thing about it is we're working very well together. And there's always that wedge there that tries to split us.
Yes.
And we're always going to work with you. So you ain't going to worry about that.
Well, and that way it just cost our county a lot of money.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
I didn't realize that Amy used to work at the school.
Mhm.
We happened just to turn the meeting on last night. My son was with me, and he said, "That's Miss Beverly." He said, "We all loved her at the school."
Yeah.
So
Yeah. She does a good job. Does an excellent job for me. I got
I
good
didn't know she
people.
worked over there. I didn't know that.
It's probably one of the
He
times
knew her, but
I should probably just keep my mouth shut. I was here last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't think they understand. I really don't think they understand your budget.
I've tried to explain it. That's why I said last night, I was trying to say this is, do you understand me? Do you understand what's going on? Because
Well, I don't think they want to tell you they don't understand, but I don't think they understand. It's over the years, it's kind of become clear.
thank you. One thing I wanted to mention to you is this. We've got safest county in the state of Indiana right now with our stats. We've released those. We've done a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm bringing it up to you is this. That is a tool that I've got realtors that have contacted me and said, we want copies of those because that's how we're selling houses. Helps us sell a house. You see where I'm coming from? Because it's a safe county. And the reason why I say that is when you guys go to why do you want to come to Scott County? Why would I want to come to Scott County to live? One of the things you can use if you want to use those stats is, hey, listen, because we're the safest county in the state. We've got the proof, we got the numbers and all that stuff. We can use that as a great benefit. You know what I'm saying? To help out where we need it for.
yes,
Makes
I mean,
sense.
that's a heck of a tool to have.
It is.
Especially, let's just be honest where we've come from, right? I mean, we've come a long way, and that's a good tool in the bag to be able to use because as Chris knows, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there. There's a lot of investors and a lot of people sitting around that we utilize and try to work with, and that's good for them to be able to showcase as well. So you're right.
And especially in those rural areas, it's like last year, we only had 5 burglaries in the whole county. You can leave your home and leave it safe. You see what I mean? Hey, we leave it, it's safe, you know what I'm saying? So I just throw that out because it's a benefit for you guys in the county to bring people in or to bring business in or whatever it is. So when I say we're the safest in the state and anybody wants to look at those stats and tell me different, I'll be glad to, you see what I'm saying? I'll be glad to debate
That's
it.
something to be proud of. I mean, you
Do you
do a
have-
good job.
Do you have that?
I don't have it with me, but
Oh, okay.
we got copies of them because we've been handing them out to people. People want copies of
Can
them.
you email those to
Yeah.
us and maybe email one to Chris as well?
Yeah.
So he'll have that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and then also, the jail, we made it nothing negative. And every time I say something, it sounds like I'm trying to be negative, but I ain't, you know what I'm saying? It's just the fact of the matter. We've cleaned that jail up on the outside too. Some of the property owners around there was thankful. We've made it look like a facility. Before it looked like a dungeon. The kids was afraid to walk in front of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was scary looking. Now we've made it a friendly place because we want kids to know if you've got a problem, somebody's got an issue, you need to come here. This is a safe place to be. So we've cleaned that up. Of course, we've put the flags and we've, done a lot of stuff there. So just another thing like that too is take pride in that. Making it look friendly. You know what I'm saying? Making it look friendly. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
I
It used to be back in the day.
I remember the old jail.
Yeah, the old jail. Yeah. Well, and it was just time. I mean, it was just, things had to be upgraded, things to be fixed, and we just took it on it. Of course, the inmates did everything.
Yeah.
So, some of the stuff of course, I wouldn't let them do the stuff you have to have a license to, to do, but a lot of that stuff they done, and they took pride in it. And I think it shows. So
Yeah.
it's just something else you can use. I'm just trying to figure out, because I hear you talk about economic development, economic debates and these things, and just something you can use.
Oh, absolutely. It's a good segue to lean into that because, we're out there competing against everybody, so we need to leverage every ounce of opportunity we can to persuade somebody, and that could be it.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, you're competing against everybody. You show up in a meeting and you're selling your county, and you can say, we've not had any murders here since 2016. And Clark County's sitting there, and Florida County's sitting there. You're showing everybody else sitting there. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's tough,
Safe.
I was just thinking about, it's been several months back, but we went on a tour of the jail, and one of the things I remember at the kitchen is seeing so many people working there. I was just thinking when we were kids, we'd go in there and eat, when Gordon was sheriff, and you'd have 1 or 2 people, and they were cooking for the whole jail.
Yeah.
That was before the glazed donut days, I think.
Yeah. It's amazing how that.
Yeah,
So
but that's good. No,
I
thank you.
appreciate you guys' support. If you need anything at all, I'm here with you. I'm with you. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Okay. I'll leave you alone now.
Have a good night. All right, next tonight, we've got the Big Ox property. I actually asked Jennifer to include this for tonight. I guess I just want to bounce this primarily off Alex. I just have I guess I'm looking for a course of action out there. It's been an ongoing situation out there where, probably almost nearly 3 years now, we've tried to get this property cleaned up. We've went down every avenue from, working with, the property owners to it going on the tax sale and them getting it back. And fact remains, we've had health department out there visiting. We've kind of explored every avenue in the world for this, and we still have unsafe structures out there. We've added a little more debris, a little more trash, camper, and I've heard different things. But from the people that live out there, at some point, people are living in that. I think there's concerns about obviously the sanitary conditions with that. I guess when the weather got really cold, they they left, and I'm glad they did. I mean, because we had a period there where it was just so frigid. But, you know, the other thing about this is one of the things, and I don't know if the other commissioners remember this or not, but when we had an individual come in, you know, we had tasked them with showing us an approval plan of what they're doing and, you know, keeping up with what was going on out there. That fell through. But one of the other things, if you guys may remember that I had asked about at the time, was give us a progress report on how you plan on acquiring the property, because the property owner, to my knowledge, is deceased. So they were, I say they, the gentleman that came in was working to try to get this property in his name. To my knowledge, I don't think that has ever happened.
It has not come through my office if it's happened.
So right now we're working with some individuals who's living out there that actually don't own the property lawfully. To add to this whole mess of what we're dealing with here. So I guess what I would like to ask is, you know, the avenue for a civil suit of some sort to move forward, however that would look, to task an individual, which at one time we had hired Jonathan Abbott, the board did, to go out and, you know, clean the property, and which was removal of all the debris and structures that was out there. We pushed pause on that once the individual showed up after, I don't know, a year or better. So my thoughts would be that, you know, we could go back to the original plan, to the person that we initially reached out to hire to do this work, and give them the green light again to go out and clear the property. But again, I don't know if I want to make sure that we're acting within the rules of our ability here, and how that looks, if that needs to go in front of the judge for that action.
I'd hate for the commissioners to hire somebody to go on private property and clean it up without a court order. And I certainly don't encourage litigation. As you know, as my predecessor said many times, this body's not an HOA, but but there are times where the county needs to act. If there's unsafe structures, proceeding under the unsafe building law to potentially raise and remove those structures, enforce the zoning ordinances, things like that. So, you know, if that's the direction the board wants to go, I'm certainly open to exploring it if that's the desire of the board.
Well, I can tell the board that's my desire, to continue to try to move forward and clean the property up out there. Again, it's not necessarily in my backyard, but it is in the backyard of, you know, our constituents that are out there having to deal with it, and the folks driving past it, and the concerns that it brings out there, not only from a sanitary standpoint, but through other issues as well that's been brought to my attention.
I would, sorry.
And by the way, I've passed those concerns to the sheriff, so that should give you an idea of what I'm getting at too, the activity maybe that we're hearing about.
I'm going to say I'm definitely interested in that, but I want to just be clear. It's not, I want to use this property as an example. We have been working on this for 3 years and haven't got anywhere with it. So that's ridiculous. It should not take 3 years to get property cleaned up.
Right.
You know, people have a right to do what they want to on their property, but at the same point in time, we got to keep a certain level of appearance in the county, you know, just so we don't, you know, look like the back heels of West Virginia or something. But again, we need to bring up this. Let's do what we got to do about this property, but we got to get started on our code enforcement.
Yeah, I agree. But also with that property, I'll just say, keep in mind, nobody's ever established ownership of this property.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's maybe something else that we need to look at as far as the litigation side of it.
But I mean, moving forward, we don't need to be wrestling with stuff for 3 years. If we put a code enforcer in place, all this can move along a lot faster from here on out.
Yeah, no question. A lot of benefit to that. There's
Yeah.
no doubt. Somebody that's actually out there
I think,
documenting.
didn't you say that North Vernon or something had a code enforcer or something?
They just put one in place a year or two ago.
Do you have a copy of their, how they did that?
I share an office with their city attorney, so yes, I
Okay.
can get it.
Would you mind bringing that?
Sure.
Jennifer, would you mind putting that on our agenda
I'll try to remember it.
next meeting? Just six.
Code enforcer.
Yeah, I just,
Just remember too, there's a special workshop that's scheduled for next Wednesday, the 22nd. And the purpose that we scheduled that back in February, I want to say, and the purpose of that was to discuss code enforcement.
okay.
Which I was going to bring that up and ask if we could reschedule that. Not to jump off onto something else, but
No,
maybe
no.
Adam had a conflict maybe with that.
Yeah, I'll be in DC.
And I do as well, that came up. So,
Well, actually, I have a conflict too.
so we'll look to reschedule that.
We can't schedule that far out.
So,
That's just too difficult.
Well, ignore the email I sent you while I was.
Unless we can set TVs around,
Okay.
just Zoom each other or something.
I
but,
don't think we can do that either.
but you're right. I mean, I think however the position is formed and however that looks, I mean, there's a lot of value and benefit to the position. I mean, I truly believe that and
I mean, we all
however
know-
we get there with it, and, but.
We know government moves slow. I mean, it does.
Mhm.
It's a snail's pace, but 3 years.
Yeah. It's been difficult. And I'll tell you as commissioner, this property has obviously been a big learning curve for me, and it's, I've taken away a lot from this, just trying to get educated on it. And I've used this, how I've tried to view other properties and going into them. But I guess what I would be asking the board tonight is to move forward, allowing Alex to, maybe move forward with some litigation, and draft out a procedure in a way that makes sense and it protects the board and cleans the property up and also helps our citizens that live out near that property.
For me, it's safety, security of the lot and what's going on, a lot that's been reported. But also the gentleman came in here and promised that he was going to be working with our former Mr. Stewart and keeping in contact with us, and that has fallen through. And to me, if that had stayed in, we'd be far along now or have that relationship to work closely. So we don't have any of that.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we accommodated that request.
Yes, we did.
I mean, full-heartedly, we accommodated the request and all that just stuff.
We tried.
We did try. I mean, I have to say we did. I mean,
So I'm all for it.
On that code enforcement, is that something you could email us and we could all look over an email
Probably.
and do a group discussion and email on if we have any changes that we want to make to it and then bring it to the meeting?
You are free to email me anytime with suggestions.
I mean, is that something we can do as a group without breaking any rules? Like a workshop email, but not vote on it?
I would just say make the changes and if you have revisions, send them to him and everybody could make a revision. And
I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
There'll be a master, he'll be able
I
to,
mean, yeah, I mean, that's the drafting process.
Yeah.
You draft something, send it out, and it's delivered a work product, so it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would
Alex
just,
will be
I
able
would
to
just
track
like us to be moving
yeah,
toward this code enforcement thing.
he'll be able to track those revisions. So,
Okay. All right.
So I have a motion to move forward with
Big Ox,
Big Ox.
make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Alex, for looking into that.
I'm sorry, I thought we did already. We got talking and went off the rails in there.
Yeah, no problem. So next on the agenda tonight is the Bill Graham Building. One of the things we've kind of kicked around over time, I think maybe Randy, you may have brought this up early, a year ago, was maybe the name and how we were going to approach this our new facility, the old city hall here.
How we going to do it?
And yes, identifying the new city hall for county purposes. And I know there's been a lot of things that's come to mind and kicked around, but in my mind, this has always been the home for 33 years to one man. And that was, at the time, it was kind of mayor for life, Mayor Bill Graham. And no matter how you want to look at it, this was Bill's house. So much of the fact that when there was talk about early on about us purchasing City Hall and City Hall moving out to the science park, I have to be honest, Bill was not happy about that.
No.
I'm not going to say everything Bill told me in that conversation, but I can tell you Bill wasn't happy. And I understand that. This place meant a lot to Bill. This was home for him for many years. And Bill loved being on the square. And so I respected that. But at the same time, I also have to say, hey, I appreciate, Mayor Amick working with the group also. And at the end of the day, they were able to move out to a very modern facility and that has a lot of potential out there and fits their needs. And they've done a great job out there. And they were able to work with us for us to acquire this property and be able to utilize it in a way that makes sense here as well for the county. So what and I'll let you guys kick this around, but what I would propose tonight would be to call this, and you can kind of look at it and make suggestions, but this would be the Bill Graham County Government Building.
If you don't mind me telling you a quick story here, just for people who might be listening at home. So years ago, when they was renovating this building for the mayor's office, Bill Graham had years prior had went out to Lexington to the English estate where they were holding an auction, and he purchased the windows that was in the English estate, and he donated those windows. And so the windows to the old English estate is actually upstairs in this building. So it was just a little trivia for anybody who might be listening, or maybe sometimes wants to stop by and look at the windows, who knows. But either way, I'll second that motion to call this, name this building the Bill Graham County Building.
I'll make that
Also,
unanimous.
Make it unanimous. I just feel like that this, pays great honor and is a great tribute to Mayor Graham, and we miss him. Sometimes I can still hear him in my ear over certain things, and I miss Bill every day. So we certainly feel like this is a great tribute to Bill, and I appreciate you guys honoring that. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye. Motion carries. Thank you guys very much. Next, we got the courtyard use permit, Grace Christian Church Day of Prayer.
Yes, that was brought in the other day. Grace Christian Church has done this for, well, ever since I've been in office. I'm not sure how long before then. But I'll need you to sign the courtyard use permit, and the certificate of liability is attached there.
Okay.
I'll make a
And
motion.
I hate to say, I think we've got your names in the wrong place. That was an
We've already
overflow.
did this. Huh?
I don't
Probably
remember.
last year.
Yeah, we did it last year, but we'll need another one this year.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. It's tax day. I wrote 415 a couple of different times. It hit me. I already got my check in the mail a few days ago, so I'm covered. Okay, great. Okay, next on tonight's agenda is taxpayer concern.
That would be me.
Is that you, Adam? Okay.
Yeah. So I've already hit up Kevin about a few road issues and concerns, whether they're private or county. So those have been taken care of. The next one is I don't know if he's still a deputy or not. He is a big farmer out on Pleasant Ridge Road. A lot of houses going up in that area. We're not very narrow road. People are going by 55, 60, horse trailers, whatnot. It's hard for people to get around. So he contacted me to see if we need to do a study. What could we do to possibly lower the speed limit for safety, livestock, and with all the continued traffic out that way.
Yeah, we can, but it's
We would-
pricey, I think.
So we do have to do a study, and by state law, our roads are supposed to be 55 mile an hour unless we do a study. And last I heard, that study is about $20,000.
Yeah, it's expensive.
I knew it was,
Yeah.
and I knew there had to be a study, but I couldn't remember if there was some way around it with like stop signs for line of sight.
We can put
And
up
stuff
slow
like that.
signs,
Yeah,
Maybe
but I think that's our only.
do that, maybe try that, incrementally kind of make improvements. If you have suggestions.
Oh yeah, I'll go out there and do a
How
site
wide's the
survey,
road?
Maybe have Kevin
Yeah,
meet you out there as well.
Yeah.
And maybe there's areas where,
Adam, how wide is the road?
I haven't been out there yet to check. He said he's out there with gooseneck and livestock, and he has to pull all the way off, let people come around and whatnot. And so, but I'll go out there and put eyes on and reaffirm that.
it's probably very minimal. I bet probably 18 feet, probably no shoulder. I haven't been out there
Yeah.
in a minute, but I would say maybe we could make, spot improvements as well. Maybe there's areas where we could add maybe a little, these are just suggestions.
Yeah.
Kevin may say, but maybe we could add a little rock in some areas for shoulders for trailers to get by if they're in
Yeah.
a tough spot.
If there's any
there.
drop off or
Yeah.
no grading or whatnot.
Maybe we can look at some striping. Maybe we can add some signage like you recommended. And if all of that doesn't work, I'm just saying, what's the cheapest ways that we
Yeah,
can make improvements? And that could be it. The road studies are pricey.
Yeah.
Typically they do run near 20 grand. And depending probably what you need out of that, the bells and whistles with it, it could be a little more.
Yeah. With the technology.
And so,
But I didn't know with all the other housing divisions going up around the county, if anyone else had contact with narrow roads or speed concerns or whatnot with farmland and whatnot. So it's something that as we grow, we may see more of.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no question. I've got some in my district that's pretty narrow as well. I mean, and those are kind of some of the things that Kevin and I have looked at. The best way to do about that is, or to go about it is, incrementally,
Mitigation,
try
yeah.
this, how can, does this, then throw this at it. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I would probably approach it, is like, look at those spot improvements and signage and striping and markings and that kind of thing.
Recon and whatnot, but
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure he asked that, I bring it up to everyone, so.
But-
what it is.
Obviously, we do have areas like this. There's no question through the county. But I also want to say that from a board standpoint, and ever since I believe that I've been on this board, we've done a good job of addressing, especially some of the real serious areas. We've really done a good job, and we don't take any of these places lightly. So, and you're right, that's kind of growing out there. There's a lot going on, and we need to, put a few more eyes on that and see what kind of improvements are made.
Just thinking back since I've been commissioner for 5 years, we have done a lot of changes in our roads and safety that probably hadn't ever been done in Scott County.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, not to toot our horn, but I'm just, it's just thinking back about it and all the improvements and stuff. We have made a lot of strides.
And I'll say this, the changes that's been made have not been willy-nilly changes. There's been some real engineering that's went in to consideration on some of these changes. So, and then obviously Kevin has been a big part of that, and that's part of his skills. So he does a heck of a job, trying to pull all that together for us. So, again, I'll help in any way. I'd support anything you guys want to come up with. I mean, there's a lot of things probably to look at. I mean, and you know what? If those things don't work and if there's still that need for that study out there, then, we'll try to find a way to do it.
I believe,
I appreciate it.
Adam talked to Kevin and asked Kevin if there isn't, don't the state let us use those
Counters.
counters if we need them?
I didn't know if that was part of the assessment or what.
That's
Well,
part of the
they do
study
that in the road
because
study too, but they might let us actually borrow them. It seems like there's some type of program out there.
Yeah,
It might
those-
not be the state.
no, it actually goes through NDOT. It's LTAP and NDOT, but he can reach out and they can, but typically Pleasant Ridge does lead to a state highway, 356.
Yeah.
So that's kind of maybe an avenue if we do need to count cars. But again,
Just reach out and talk to Kevin and ask him about that.
Again, that's part of that overall study that it gets into. It gets pricey, but there's resources out there. There's a lot of resources, and we can certainly utilize them.
Thank you very much.
I'll just say there's the Southeast Indiana Regional Plan Commission, it's not include Scott County, but they had help with traffic counts. So you may want to reach out to the Regional Plan Commission that includes Scott County.
I'll put it down. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's great. Like I say, I mean, there's a lot of resources out there to help us, and we'll utilize all of them. So,
And this meeting's going slow since you've taken it back over.
well, I kind of, we had a lot going on tonight.
Our meeting's only last 5 minutes. We have to.
Sorry. Lien administration resolution. And I think we may have had something drawn up on that.
Yeah, so this is similar to what was discussed at the last meeting. We had an ordinance from Delaware County. So this is very similar to Delaware County. If you recall, Delaware County's, the fee that was charged for placing a lien was,
I think it was 55.
it was 55, it may have been $60. So $5, there was $5 that goes to the vendor, and then 55 was deposited to the lien administration fee. I think we went back and forth on email and maybe landed on a $25 total fee. That's how I interpreted the email. So what this resolution or ordinance assesses is a $25 fee. Again, $5 to the vendor, $25 to be deposited in the lien administrative fee fund, which is is being created as a non-reverting fund. And monies in the fund shall be used for any lawful purpose related to the administration of liens filed with the county, including but not limited to technology upgrades.
You just got a number.
Number 3.
And one of the things, if everybody remembers from the last meeting, I think what we were trying, our goal was trying to get something that was fair for the county and fair for the folks that needed to pay the fee. And $25 in my mind seemed to be appropriate. That's not backbreaking, and it also gives some help to the people that work in county government that has to continue to deal with it.
And there
So-
is a $20 county fee now, so basically it stays the same except for we've added the $5 to administer the SRA as part of that.
And I think that's extremely fair.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 2026-3.
For the $25 fee.
Yeah.
We got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Alex, for
Yes, thank you.
working through that. And thanks to SRI for actually, bringing us an example that they've used in the past. That was helpful as well. And we have consideration of our regular, special, and special invoices. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay. We have a motion to accept
I'll make that motion.
those invoices. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Let's see, what else we have? We've got consideration of payroll also tonight.
Real quick, did you all see the email? United needing paid, Mandy or Lori sent out today. It's going to be on a special
Regarding the
payment
Visitors
to
Commission.
United.
For their bridge inspection stuff?
Yes.
or-
I'd like to make a motion to get that paid.
Today.
For her to go ahead and submit payment to them to allow Mandy
For
to
Mandy,
do that. Yeah, I'll, do you second?
Yeah, a second.
Okay, we have a motion, and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That allow Mandy to work with the highway department to get that invoice paid.
And I make a motion for payroll.
I'll second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Sometimes things aren't, kind of get mixed up and not real timely sometimes in the way things get moved around. So we be flexible with everybody and make sure everybody's getting paid, even if we, because sometimes even, the highway department gets things in late from our vendors. And
I'll make a motion to accept minutes.
motion to accept the minutes. So we have a second. We have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries for minutes.
Chris, did you have anything tonight?
I just wanted to invite all of you and anybody else who might be watching this. I'd like you to think about coming out to the Ruby Loft venue out on Highway 56 on Friday. There's a youth art competition going to be there. It's from 4 till 7. And we will all do extremely well. Show some support to the students of the community. Austin and Scottsburg schools are involved. And, should be a good event. And I'd like you to be there.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Chris.
Appreciate it.
Chris, you said that was from 4 to 7?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah, I do. Pass these down, make sure everybody's got one. Kelly, do you want to put this on the screen to see? I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Kelly? Yeah. Okay. This is something that was sent to me, concern kind of thing. The State Board of Accounts is here doing our audits right now, our annual audit and the ARPA audit. I asked them about it, and they just kind of laughed. They said, no, that's not ours. Oh, wait a minute. Is it not going to work? Correct.
Not gonna work?
It's not going to work. I don't think.
I'll go
I
ahead.
might have to put it back up. Oh, okay, yeah, it's showing there. Okay. This is an AI piece. Whoever did this has no idea what's going on in the county. The two seals are not at all like the ones, and we're going to post this so people can see, in the future.
Yeah.
If you see this, it was talked to about with the auditors that we have in-house, and they're like, no. And if there was an investigation, the attorneys would be told, the auditor would be told, the commissioners and council would be aware of it. So that didn't happen. So I sent it off to state SBOA, and their thing is, unfortunately, we can't give you a legal opinion, but I would recommend that you forward it to your legal counsel. So Alex, we're going to send this to you. And they said, thank you for alerting us that someone is trying to pretend that we are making false allegations and what have you. DLGF was the same way. And just to kind of go through this sheet, the first, the budget was reduced. That was due to a bond issue that we did with this judgment bond. The non-compliance really has nothing to do with the budget. That's just a little bit to do with the bond. Forced reduction to insufficient operating reserves. Nothing to that. It's just kind of like people want to say something to create doubt and make people think that there's something illegal going on. Indicates inflated or misaligned fund balances. No mention of what they are, what they're thinking about, nothing. You go down to the certification of assessed values. Those were delayed all over the state this year because of SEA 1. Our tax systems were trying to get things put together. They're the ones that kind of asked that. So like I said, it was a statewide issue. It wasn't just us. I don't know what they think that it's going to change when the whole state is fighting with the same thing. Recurring finding accounts, they went after the treasurer's cash book. There were problems in that before. We didn't have good software there. Before Ryan came in, they were working hard to get that cleaned up through LAO. There were issues before then that could even affect us in this. Quite frankly, in this audit, there could still be issues that come out from that. And it's ledger versus bank balances not matching. Again, that was in a previous time. That's not now. The county sheriff commissary funds, questionable spending. Well, what is that questionable spending? What did they see? And then high-risk accounts under review for unauthorized expenses. Whoever wrote that, just trying to throw something out there to make people think, oh, there's a big bad monster somewhere, go look at it. You don't have what account it is. What are those unauthorized expenses? If you have that thought, come to us. We'll talk to you about it, but don't hide around in the dark trying to spook people. And I don't know, DLGF is still looking into it. I don't know what State Board of Accounts is going to go, but from what I understand, if they find who did this, that could be a level 6 felony. So
Yeah, and it should be. This was made to my attention once I knew the State Board of Accounts was actually going to be here in Scott County the other day. I reached out to Jennifer and asked if, and I knew Randy was going to be at that meeting as well, to ask them about these allegations. And obviously they said that it was a fraudulent type report. Also on here is the Department of Local Government Finance. So the DLGF, we call it. And, I personally know the commissioner of this agency.
yes.
And I can tell you that these allegations are not factual.
No, not at all.
So
And also,
it's a shame that stuff like this gets put out. And I'm not even sure the logos are quite identical.
they're not, and that's something I'll put them on there because the match is nowhere near close. But if you look at the logo on the DLGF, there's plenty of misspellings in there. So I don't know if the misspelling was if you look at finance, that's not spelled correctly.
Yeah.
Whoever did this doesn't spell, or else they're trying to throw it off so it won't trigger something with DLGF with their AI. So
You know what this kind of reminds me of, like training you have to do with typically, I know with my company, and then when I worked with NDOT, you do all the training on the phishing email stuff. And this is kind of an example of what that's all about. But it's a real shame that this stuff gets thrown out there because a lot of people do buy into
gosh,
it.
yes.
They'll believe this stuff.
Yeah.
And anyway, thank you for bringing that up.
Well,
This is not.
that needs to be cleared out.
Yes, thank you. And I was sitting in on that meeting and yes.
I mean,
State
they were
Board of
laughing
Accounts.
about it because they were just like, this is,
Yeah.
whoever did this doesn't have any clue what they're doing.
But, all right.
Anybody got anything else?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any.
One of the things I wanted to bring up real quick, the governor came into Hardy Lake last week. I appreciate the governor anytime he and his team can stop in Scott County. That's great for us. It brings awareness, and anytime we can grab his ear about something. I forgot to share with Kevin earlier, but I was able to talk to him about our CCMG, we call it, our community crossings, and the governor loves the program and really talked about ways of trying to, put more money into that. So we'll see how that goes moving forward because I know not only here in Scott County, but our municipalities and all across the state, everybody's so dependent on that program for their infrastructure improvements. And I know anytime we get money out of that, we feel very blessed to get it. So kind of curious. And as Kevin mentioned earlier, there's still looking at changes. And I know Alex probably fights around with some of that and see how that all works out in Indianapolis. But
I believe he did say that's not going away though, correct?
yeah,
Did he make that statement?
he did. But it's not, but it's in different forms. And that's what Kevin was kind of alluding to tonight.
Yeah.
So, so we'll see how that goes. And so anyway, it was nice to be able to get his ear on that. And hopefully we'll continue to be able to count on those needed funds that we get moving forward. So Alex, if you can help us with that in Indianapolis, we would certainly appreciate that.
And I did advocate for Hardy Lake since we was at Hardy Lake. Our governor's got a pretty big job and he's pretty busy. And the fact that he can even make time to come by is incredible. But while he was here, I did advocate for Hardy Lake and made sure that everybody knows how vital Hardy Lake is to this community, which it is. A lot of people don't understand.
It's a big deal.
Hardy Lake is, yes, it's natural resources and we appreciate natural resources and that's important and everything. But Hardy Lake is also a big pay lake for this county. And it brings a lot of tax dollars into the state. So that's was the message and he listened and
I felt like he was very receptive.
he
And I don't
was
know-
very receptive to it.
I had asked him, we have a neighbor of mine about a wheelchair ramp and a boat dock so that it'd be wheelchair accessible. They act like they might talk about that some more, but he did tell me that something I hadn't caught. The state parks now, including Hardy Lake, have a wheelchair on a track that can be used to go through their trails now. So that is available at Hardy Lake now.
Wow, that's
So,
pretty
yeah.
neat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very cool.
Pretty cool. Well, anything, Alex, you got anything? Nope. You good? You done?
I think I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I have plenty.
I guess with that, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
We got a motion?
I'll second.
We got a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.